You see me enjoying life now, but baby, you just don't know how. I conquered my fears, cried a bunch of tears, wasted a lot of years, but I find myself together with you. And baby, if we keep it real, all the way real, I look like a clown trying to hold you down, but it won't happen this time around. I'm not mad at you, I've just outgrown the bullshit. I'm so tired of your bullshit. I've had enough of bullshit. Always the same old, same old. Every time you call me, and I don't call you back, I want you to know I'm not mad at you. I just outgrown the bullshit. Ain't nobody got time for your 21 questions. You should know me by now, from my trials to my blessings. And baby, if we keep it real, I look like a clown trying to hold you down, but it won't happen this time around. I'm not mad at you, I just outgrown the bullshit. I'm so tired of your bullshit. Nobody got time for your bullshit. Your bullshit. You know I love you, baby. I'm not mad at you. I just outgrown the bullshit. I'm not mad at you.
Yo, hey, Wallby connection, it's the Wallby connection, it's the, hey, Wallby connection, it's the Wallby connection. Whoa, Wallby connection, it's the Wallby connection. Hey, it's your boy, Won't Be, and we're here with another awesome weekly episode of the Walt B Connection. This is our weekly check-in, and I'm just here to let you all know a few things that are going on. Before we get started, though, Mother has an announcement that she just wants to share with y'all because she heard y'all been saying some stuff about what's going on, and she just wants y'all to know something real quick. Tell them what's going on, Mother Norwood.
I can't hear nobody. And they say that the hip-hop gospel is taking over. Put me in F. Hip-hop gospel is taking over. But you know, I tell them, you don't know where F is?
Mother say put her in F. She say stop playing in her face. Put her in F because she want to sing, because y'all are acting like the hip-hop gospel is taking over. But she was getting ready to let them know that the old school is where it's at. How y'all doing tonight? This is your boy, Walt B, and I am absolutely here. We're going to talk about the things of the things tonight. We're going to get into the things of the week. But before I do, I want to give a shout out to Luxie Noir. I got this is a black owned business. They do candles and just relaxation stuff. Their packaging is second to none. So get on over there and check that out. I got them candles. Those are the candles I just held up. And I got this body butter. This body butter, this whipped body butter is everything. It gives nice coverage. Y'all can tell I done already started using it. It is definitely an amazing product. And I'll see if I can get that link and put that in the description to the video. But anyway, yeah, Luxy Noir, get over there and purchase your good Luxy Noir. I got to get on TikTok and open that box and everything later. Tonight, I just wanted to come and talk to you all about. I really wanted to talk to you all about the Kirk Franklin video that was uploaded. The Kirk Franklin video that was uploaded. It was they're labeling it a documentary. I guess he here recently on Father's Day found out who his biological father is. He had gone all these years believing that his biological father was somebody else, and then here, based on a conversation that someone overheard at a funeral, gave him some information, and he now knows who his biological father is. This is Kirk Franklin. Now, you can just go to YouTube and Google Kirk Franklin's biological father, and you can find out information, even watch the documentary yourself. I thought it was well put together. I thought it was well done. It was transparent. One of the things that I did like about this particular documentary, once again, we're talking about Kirk Franklin coming into the knowledge of who his biological father is. I liked the fact that they allowed Kirk Franklin to be human. He did cuss and they did bleep it out, but he did cuss and they left it in there. And I appreciate that. Not just because I like cussing. It's not just because I like cussing, but sometimes we do so much to package things up as if people don't experience the same type of emotions that other people experience. And in doing so, you really make people feel awkward. You make them feel alienated. You make them feel like they are strange. When we all go through things like this. Now, I do want to unpack some of the things that happened in this documentary. That was just eye-opening for me. By the way, if you're watching via Facebook, I encourage you to go to my YouTube channel, Walt Big Connection, and watch and click like over there. It benefits the channel more. It benefits me more if you go watch it on YouTube. We definitely are excited about this for our brother, him learning who his father is. This is definitely something valuable for him, but it's a few things that I think we need to take a look at. Number one, it's important if you think one could be your child's father, you're not 100% sure. I think you should just take that step and go ahead and get that test, just to eliminate all possibilities, because this could have easily been solved, with a simple test way back when, if conversations had been had. I sympathize first with Kirk Franklin being the displaced child. I sympathize with him growing up in this situation, mother giving up on him, mother giving him up for adoption, him not knowing who his biological mom is, being raised by some a distant relative. I definitely sympathize with him, and then him coming into the knowledge of who he thought was his real father, only to find out that was not his real father. I definitely sympathize with Kirk Franklin in this situation. The emotions that were given, I think, were definitely merited. I think we saw a lot of maturity exhibited by Kirk Franklin. At least I did. I felt like he handled this like a very mature adult. And even though he did hold his mother accountable in the end, he did not go left like many of us would have had this been us sitting in his shoes. And so to that, Kirk Franklin, I definitely want to give you big ups for that. He held his mother accountable. But then I want to talk about the denial of his mother. They had not one but two DNA tests done. Kirk Franklin did. He had not one but two DNA tests done to prove that this was his father, right? The word again struck me. She made the choice to lie twice. Absolutely. Absolutely. She made the choice twice to lie, Kendrick. Now, what got me was they had two DNA tests. So the first time she could have literally just been like, you know what? We did have something, but because of the timing, I didn't think he could be the father. And so this is why I told you so and so was your dad. She could have just been real about the whole situation. Her not judging anyone, but we knew that there were drugs at play. So we knew that, maybe she could have been out of it. Maybe, there could have been a lot of things at play. At the very least, she could have relied on the fact that this was years and years ago. But no, she stood 10 toes down on the fact that first, this just could not be the father. Then when the first test came back, no, this test is wrong. This is not your father. Then when the second test came, they did a second test. The second test comes, and the second test confirms once again that this is his father. And Kirk Franklin and his mother are sitting in there with his aunt. And his aunt, I think, does a little bit too much, but we'll talk about that in a minute if I feel like it. The mother is sitting in the room. Kirk Franklin is sitting in the room. They're having the conversation, and the mother doubles down on this is not your father. This test is a lie. There is absolutely no way that he can be your father. Kirk Franklin levels with her and says, I just want the truth. Just tell me the truth. No judgment. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to, I'm not going to blow up. But he said, if we're going to continue this relationship, I need the truth. I need you to admit the truth. And this woman is so married to the lie. She is so married to the lie for whatever reason. We don't know. I don't know why she is married to the lie. It could be a pride thing. It could be a number of things. I'm going to go with it's a pride thing. It felt like she just didn't want to be wrong about this. And she held on to this lie at the cost of her relationship with her son. Now, granted, her and her son's relationship has been strained and estranged and, bumpy or whatever. But rather than mend this relationship at all costs, she's willing to hold on to the lie that this is not your father, the lie that this cannot be your father. And that's just crazy to me. That is just crazy to me. Listen, if you are around people that cannot accept you making a mistake, that cannot accept you, okay, sure, you didn't know who the father is, or you may have known that you for whatever reason, you didn't want to share that information, but now the information is out here. If you're around people that cannot handle you being honest, you are definitely around the wrong people. I feel like she has some really shitty people in her life that are not going to hold her accountable for admitting and accepting the truth about her son. And so now Kirk Franklin has to walk around again, re-wounded again, by this lie. And so we definitely want to undergird him in prayer. To me, he's handling it well. I don't know him personally. Don't want to get on here and act like I don't know that man personally. But I definitely want to undergird him in prayer, just for strength that he is, able to cope with this. I think the marketing for this was brilliant. And I think a lot of families are going to be able to glean from this and grow on some level because of him being this level of transparent with the people. Now, the second thing I want to deal with is the maturity of the father. I feel like the father exhibited, Kirk Franklin's father exhibited a lot of maturity as well. Time time will tell. Time will tell to see how the father and his relationship pans out. Now, one thing I can see, or one thing I gather, is he is not one that is trying to be the father for financial clout. It doesn't look like he needs money. It looks like he is well off himself, like he's done well for himself. It looks like he is, definitely taking care of things in business in his own life. And he just wants to now garner and establish this relationship with his newly revealed son. And I think that is amazing. I love how Kirk Franklin took this. It seemed like he took this moment as a self-check moment for him to get things right with his oldest son, Carrion. If you kind of follow Kirk Franklin, you'll know that they've had a bumpy relationship over the past few years. Kirk Franklin has publicly cussed his son out, and his son has publicly cussed him out on several occasions and has done several other things, which now a lot of you all have opinions and judge about. I do have opinions, of course, but I don't judge about that because I got family. I got saved, sanctified, and Holy Ghost filled family. And I'm going to be real with you. If we were in a complete argument, throw down, all no holds barred, and I'm out here cussing them all the way out and throwing shots below the belt and saying stuff I probably shouldn't say about, people I probably shouldn't say it about. My family that's saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost would probably turn around, look at me, and cuss me out. And even though I'm in the moment, because I'm petty, in the moment I would act like, oh my God, I can't believe you're cussing at me. You're supposed to be saved. You're supposed to be holy. You ain't supposed to be sitting up here cussing. Deep down, I know why you cussed at me, because I said and did what I did because I wanted you to cuss at me. I wanted you to come up out of character because low key I want to get it popping. So I didn't have no judgment for Kirk Franklin when he got with his son and leveled up. Plus, any of us who have raised men children, every now and then around a certain age, they get to feeling themselves and they buck up. And sometimes you just have to put them in their place. So I didn't have no judgment about Kirk Franklin. And quite frankly, he sounds like a preacher cussing. Like, he is one of the few people, when I heard him cuss, I almost said, in Jesus' name, amen, when he got done. So, there's that. But they were able to come together. Kirk Franklin and his oldest son were able to come together, and they were able to have this conversation. They were able to mend, in my opinion, some brokenness there. And again, I want to put this out here. This is the beginning of a journey. So it may all fall apart in 2 weeks. We don't know. God forbid. But it may fall apart in 2 weeks. It may fall apart in a month. They may have some public ups and downs, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for the journey. I'm grateful that we get to see this. We get to see this as an example for us to come together as Black families from different walks of life, and we can actually see these things play out. We can see healing take place in our own community, and hopefully it will reverberate, and we can implicate these things in our own lives and in our own situations. So I definitely want to give big ups to Kirk Franklin for this documentary. Hopefully this is the first of many of our celebrities being transparent in a good way. Now, for those of you that's always talking about, why does everything have to be so public? Why does everything have to be so public? But you watching James Wright, hit the nail on the head. You're commenting, telling everybody why does everything have to be public only reveals the fact that you clicked the link and you watched you watched the video. So yeah, hot meat kettle, and as far as that's concerned. So absolutely. We're definitely praying for Kirk Franklin. At least I am, for him and his family, his beautiful wife, and his children. Big ups for that black family. The second thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was this gentleman here, Carlos King. I should have picked a better picture. I'm so sorry, Carlos. I don't know him personally either. Let me just put that out there. But he is the king of reality television. I wanted to talk to about him because he is doing. I saw the second interview that he did with Joseline Hernandez, and I feel like he is doing the community a really big service, a really big. He's doing us. He is redeeming a lot of the qualities in the black community, and to that I want to give him a hand. If this were my podcast, this would be the segment where he would get class of the week. He would be our class act of the week. So he's going back to a lot of the popular reality TV stars, and he's allowing us to get a peek behind the scene. And we're finding out a lot of the things that took place that we may have had strong opinion about, and we get insight into what's going on. He had for his guest recently, Joseline Hernandez. Y'all forgive me if I slip and call her by another last name. I have a friend whose first name is Joseline, and sometimes when I'm talking about Joseline Hernandez, my friend's last name slips. Okay, but I'm gonna try to go through this whole show without slipping and saying the wrong name tonight, and I think we're gonna be able to do it. But this show was amazing because we got to see Joseline in a different light. Okay, because when other people paint Joseline, they always paint her as someone who turns up. They paint her as someone who really don't got good sense. They paint her as someone who don't think things through. They paint her as someone who is sex thirsty, just really, really sex crazed and sex thirsty. But when we watch the interview, we kind of get insight to see, first off, this is an intelligent woman. Okay. She is very aware of what's going on. And then we get to hear her talk about her growth through the process. And to me, this was so redeeming. Because we see, she wasn't scared of any questions that was asked. So any question was put out there, she answered them. She talked about her childhood trauma, the making of. She talked about, her stripping. She talked about how she became a part of the Love and Hip Hop franchise and some of the craziness that went on over there. And you can hear when she talks about some of her old castmates. I'm not talking about the ones she don't get along with, but the ones she may have gotten into it at one point, and then they kind of made well now. You kind of hear growth in her speech, because the Joseline that we see today is the same woman that sat on international TV and said, "I'll show up everywhere ready to fight." She said, "I'll show up everywhere ready to fight." And I low-key was there for it at that time. But, we have both, she and I have gotten older. And you can hear the maturity in her story. She is now about her daughter. She is now about her money. And she's not about tearing anyone down. Does she give it to her enemies? Absolutely. People that come against her, she definitely has strong opinions about. She definitely gives them, a tough word. But we all do that. We all do that. But in this whole situation, I want to give the big ups to Carlos King. A while ago, he had Nene Leakes on there, and we were able to get a peek behind with Nene Leakes and Kenya Moore, and just the various different reality show stars that are doing their thing and have come and have been amazing and have really impacted our culture. Um, so I definitely want to give the big ups to Carlos King, absolutely, for that. And that's really just all I wanted to get on here tonight and talk about on tonight. I'll be back later. I know y'all see Tommy over there. I'm going to be back later to talk about this season of Power. This season is shaping up to be everything. There are going to be some twists and turns this season that I think are really going to blow our minds. Um, I'm just going to put out there who I think is going to die this season in another video. And I think we're going to get a crossover at some point this season. I do think New York is coming to Chicago. Hey, Janair, how you doing? How you doing? But overall, this week, I think we have some things that we can glean from, and if you decide, to take that step, let me just say it like this. You may know who your biological parents are, but there are some areas in your life that you may need to confront. Okay. And what we have to realize is confrontation does not always have to be destructive. It does not always have to be destructive. And it does not always have to be what's the word I'm looking for? Explosive. When we think of confronting, a lot of times we think of somebody, oh, I done had enough. I got to tell somebody, I got to put so and so in their place. I got to do. That's not what it's about. Sometimes confrontation is, I want to get down to the nitty and gritty of what's going on, not just to get down to it, but I want to find a pathway forward from here. And I think we have a great example this week of what we can do with that. And then also, I think we have a great example of what it means to listen to someone. Oh my God, he's going to think I'm being, if he sees this, he's going to think I'm being shady. Carlos King is definitely showing us what it is to listen to someone. You may see something and disagree with what they've done. You may have strong opinion against it, but sometimes it's good just to listen and see where they're coming from. So you have a better, hey, Jonathan, how you doing, sir? How you doing? Well, to see where they're coming from, to see, give them a chance, hear them out, and you may from there glean some type of understanding, so that you can better be better there for them, or you may be able to resolve any issue that you've had with them if you just learn to listen. Carlos King, thank you for that. Kirk Franklin, thank you for that. Joseline Hernandez, almost did it. Joseline Hernandez, thank you for that. And that's all I have for you all tonight. Other than what y'all watching on TV, I started watching Snowfall. That's the one. Yeah, Snowfall. I started watching Snowfall, and I just couldn't make it past season 3. I couldn't make it past season 3 because somebody ruined it for me and told me how the show ends, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it because I wanted Franklin to win. I wanted Franklin to become the biggest to have ever done it in the world and never be dethroned. But yeah, that is fiction. That is definitely not real life, but that's what I wanted for the show. But it wasn't going to happen, so I quit watching it like a spoiled brat. I did. Confession. But what are y'all watching on TV? Anybody watching anything interesting on the telly? While y'all typing that in, I'm reading this book that is eye-opening like a mug. Some of you may not. Remember I said when you disagree, sometimes you just gotta listen. But it's how to make a Negro Christian. So I just started it, and it's really getting into the history of how we African Americans or Black Americans became Christian in this nation. It's really eye-opening. It really thought-provoking. No, it is not trying to persuade us against being Christian. But with anything, you definitely want to have your eyes open as you approach a topic. Well, it don't seem like y'all watching nothing on TV. So one show that obviously I'm watching now is Power Force. And what else am I watching? When I have the time, I'm watching Wheel of Time on Prime, and that one's shaping up to be pretty good. But again, that's when I have the time because them episodes is long, and I do have to do my reading and some other stuff I got going on here. So that's when I have the time. Well, I do thank those of you who tuned in tonight to share this little catch up, this little check in with me. I'll be back at another time. I want to encourage you all Monday nights at 6:30. I do have my podcast it airs regularly every week. It is now airing on my social media as well as the Pyro Media Network. So get over there to Pyro Media and subscribe. I also want to reiterate to y'all this Luxy Noir. This is gonna bless your life. This here is gonna bless your life. And gentlemen, get you some of this whipped body butter. The coverage is amazing, and it lasts. It lasts. So it's not one of those you put it on now and you ashy in 2 minutes. It's going to last. A good coverage, so the product is not wasteful. So get over there to Luxy Noir and support. It's a Black-owned business based out here in Southern California, but I do believe they ship nationwide. All right. Well, with all of that being said, thank you so much for your time tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to go over to YouTube and click that like button on YouTube and subscribe to my channel on YouTube, The Walt B Connection. We do have more content coming. Thank you all so much. You all remain blessed. And as always, go with God and know that He's going with you.